We have solicits for April of 2025. We're going to work through them and see what goodies are in here. And the first thing that is in the solicits is Summer of Superman Special Issue 1, written by Dan Slott, Joshua Williamson, and Mark Waid. So 48 pages, one shot, presumably without even looking at the description. I'm going to take a wild stab and say that this is going to be 3 stories by 3 writers who are all doing Superman or Superman related books, ongoing, basically. Slott's about to start his at this point, and the other 2, of course. I mean, I don't know what Mark Waid's doing specifically. Maybe it's just going to tie into his Justice League Unlimited or whatever. But
yeah, because Slott's doing Superman Unlimited.
Oh no, World's Finest. That's what it says in the solicit.
That's a World's Finest.
Yeah, he's okay. So we're doing a World's Finest tie-in in there. So I mean, obviously the highlight of that will be whatever tease, whatever 16 pages you get, which is effectively going to be the first part of Slott's Superman run.
Yeah, and it's all done by George Jimenez. So, or Jorge.
That's Jorge.
Did we call him George? Yeah. I don't know. I worked with the guy who spelled it the same and preferred to be called George. So that's where my brain went first.
So did I once upon a time, but I think it was more he was just sick of dumb white people not being able to say it properly. Constantly correcting them into Jorge. But yeah, it's Jimenez doing all 3, it looks like, too, which is cool. So, this is something to do. Probably, it's probably about once a year you'll get a special like this where it's like 3 or 4 stories and they all kind of tie into what's going on soon. We got Superman issue 25 by Williamson, art by Dan Mora, Eddie Barrows, and Eber Ferreira. So Mora's finally slowing down a little bit. He's got 2 other artists on this issue, so we'll see how that goes. But that's also a biggish. Why? Oh, it's got 25. Yeah, it's okay. 25 and 75 is another excuse to do a slightly oversized issue. Fair enough. Who am I to judge?
The only time Gillum March art fits Superman is when he has kryptonite poisoning. I just want to point that out.
Very good, very good. And then we have Action Comics 1085 by G. Willow Wilson and art by Gavin Guidry.
Sign me up, as if I don't already read this. But Wilson and Guidry, heck yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting name to get after Ridley. Yeah, Ridley's on it just now. Did we know this before that she was going to be next, or is this just the first we're hearing of it?
This is new for me. Maybe you guys did, because I missed last Solicits.
No.
That was the episode that I missed.
Because the last one would have been March, so it would have been the last Ridley issue.
Okay.
So
yeah, this is news to me. So this is good.
Yeah. And then, that Absolute Superman cover with the flying in front of the moon is quite pretty. But the Absolute Superman issue 6 is next. Art by Carmine Di Domenico on this issue.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very different from what's been in that book. Yeah, for sure. We got a facsimile edition in the middle of the solicits. Don't like that. Next up, we got Superman Last Days of Lex Luthor issue 3 by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch.
Paint me surprised.
The final, no, they like waited until the second and third issue were both done before they dared solicit either of them. So yeah, it's coming 1 month after issue 2. What a world. Superman the World. This is a graphic novel. Hardcover. By Dan Jurgens, Jorge Jimenez, Satoshi Miyagawa, Stepan Kopriva, Doctor. Oh my, we're getting fancy.
Yeah, so this is, before you butcher the rest of these names, these are all international creators telling stories of Superman. So like they did the Batman one.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dr. Ejob Gaius and then Jefferson Costa Sylvian, and then some artists are there as well. But I've butchered enough names on that, so I'll leave it to the writers. So yeah, it's a big anthology book, which is coming out in hardcover, and like you said, but had that with Batman first, so cool. We got Batman 159. This is part of the Hush storyline, or Hush 2, I should say. So Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, And then we have Absolute Batman issue 7 by Snyder and Marcos Martin. And we get Absolute Wonder Woman issue 7.
Ooh, that's a good cover with Diana and Cersei.
Yes. Some Dustin Win art on that issue. That may be interesting.
Yeah.
Very unique style. Does Dustin Win?
Don't usually associate him with Wonder Woman, right? Like it's usually Wednesdays in Gotham traditionally. So that's cool.
Even then, I don't really associate him with like superheroes that much. I usually, I think of his Jeff Lemire work and stuff like that. But that's cool. Absolute Green Lantern issue 1 finally solicited with a couple of cool covers, honestly, for that one. By Al Ewing and Jahoni Lindsay. Without the core, without the ring, without the willpower, what's left is the absolute Green Lantern. So that is cool.
Seems like that's not a Green Lantern. No core, no ring, no willpower. All right. We'll see.
She's summoning green energy from somewhere, all right?
Yes. No, I know this, but just the whole thing was like, you're telling me it's a Green Lantern book? I am shocked.
Firing green bolts of lightning from her arse. There you go. That's what it is. Absolute Flash issue 2, Jeff Lemire with Nick Robles. Matt likes the cover.
I like that cover.
I could tell. I just went to go sucking it in. Yeah, then we got Absolute Martian Manhunter issue 2. Do you know what's so funny is we're using Ape Comics for the solicits this time, and I like it because the covers are so big, but because they put all the covers like really big, I'm like, I can see what the book's going to be before I can actually read it, so I'm sort of like saying it and hoping I'm right.
Yeah.
Which is why I messed up early when I thought it was going to be Detective and it wasn't. It was Absolute Batman. Anyway, next up, we have Batman Superman World's Finest 38 with Clayton Henry on art, obviously with Mark Waid still writing. We got Justice League Unlimited issue 6. A couple of nice covers in this batch.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah, there's a. It's not quite as good as this. Don't get me wrong, but there's definitely a very Alex Ross inspired cover in that batch. With a few of them flying in space.
You're talking about the one with you're talking about the space one.
Yeah.
Because the one above it, I'd say, is very Alex Ross-esque too.
It kind of, I'd say that it's very more Lee Behermo. In fact, it might even be Lee Behermo if I go down and check who the covers are. It is, yeah, Lee Behermo. There you go. Yeah. Called it. I got it right.
There you go.
Honestly, it was his Batman. I recognize his Batman head more than anything. But yeah, cool. So yeah, it's Justice League Unlimited issue 6. Travis Moore's on the art for that issue. So again, Dan Mora finally had to slow down.
Yeah, so this is part of a big crossover. This is news that I saw before I realized there were solicits this week, that they're doing a crossover with, what was it? Justice League Unlimited, World's Finest, and there was one more book. Let's see if it's the next one on here.
Oh, it was the annual. It was a World's Finest annual up next. Yeah.
It's part 3 of 6. It's called We Are Yesterday, so we're starting to get Mark Waid crossing his books over a little bit.
You say that, but he's effectively just crossing over all, World's Finest is effectively like mini Justice League.
Yeah, and the fact that it's called We Are Yesterday, I'm wondering if this is going to do some, not necessarily timey-wimey, but we're going to see events from the past and their consequences in the future, for what it means for Inferno and this other stuff.
And Legion of Doom's on the cover of one of the variants for that annual, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, okay, so yeah, we got this crossover. Honestly, it's basically, it feels like it's just an arc that Wade's doing that he wants to get done quicker than waiting for 6 issues of Unlimited. So he's just firing it all out in one quick succession. Justice League: The Atom Project issue 4 is out, and then we got Challengers of the Unknown issue 5. There's actually a really cool variant cover for that. With the he's screaming in the astronaut suit with all the purple with the yellow cogs.
Yes, it's very alien to me.
So that's cool. We got Question All Along the Watchtower issue 6. We got Aquaman issue 4, as you do. We got Wonder Woman issue 20, unfortunately with Gillian March doing a fill-in issue of art.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's our annual, non-tradition.
yeah. Wait, hold on. That sentence made no sense. What? Annual non-tradition?
Yeah, so like he always pops in. He's popped in a couple times now during King's Run onto it, but we don't hold it as a tradition, but it's something that happens, right? It's an annual non-tradition.
Okay. I think something's annual. It's a tradition. It's a bad tradition, but it's a tradition all the same.
It's like a bad miracle.
It's like tax day. Tax day is a tradition. No one likes it, but it's a tradition.
Oh, jeez. I'm not going to get into that one.
Detective Comics, 1096. A couple of cool covers on this one. I mean, that main cover with technically the name was revealed this week, so I won't say it because it's technically a spoiler right now. But the villain like holding the bat cowl is a really cool cover. The one with the villain jumping is almost really good. I say almost because I think the leg's a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
But and then that Batman, that scratchy black and like cream one is also very, very pretty. So yeah, a lot of nice covers there. Detective Comics 2025 annual. So we got a second annual so far. So this is Tom Taylor and more with Mikkel Yanin, which tells me there's going to be backups, but that's all it says to me. But Taylor's writing the main story, and Mikkel Yanin's doing the art, so sounds like it'll be at least slightly relevant.
So, judging from the description in there, it says Batman's found himself mired in a haunting case he can't seem to solve. Now the Dark Knight must work his way through some of his most maniacal foes to gather enough evidence to attempt to crack the case. His very life, or the life of someone dear, may depend on it. Tom Taylor, joined by an all-star roster of collaborators, crafts a mystery that will boggle the mind. So I wonder if he plotted it, and he'll have someone helping with each of these different pieces. Which I like. I like that. Sometimes annuals just play the next part of the chapter. I do like when they're kind of their own thing. And that's what
I'm
this
the
feels
opposite.
like.
I would much rather just feel like the next issue of the book rather than some weird filler thing. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while is a good one, and it's just a good standalone story. But I would say that the batting average is like 8 times out of 10, it's pointless filler.
Well, and we've gotten both from Taylor, right? He's made them do that, and then but I think sometimes he can write a I don't know another word for it, but filler story. I think those can kind of he can craft those very well. So I trust in him a little bit more than average.
The Flash issue 20 is a thing, as is Green Arrow issue 23. Montos on art on that. So that's cool. Secret 6 issue 2. Which this is Nicole Main's writing with Stephen Segovia on art. For people who don't remember, it was Solicits for issue 1, and namely me. What are these covers? Green Lantern issue 22. A couple of interesting covers here. That one of Carol's very pretty.
Yeah, the one above it just seems very ominous.
Yes.
It almost looks like a horror movie poster.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, it's Jeremy Adams as Manico on that issue.
God, that's got to be Hector Hammond, right? Let's see.
What?
Okay.
That main cover?
Yeah. On the main cover.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And then we have Green Lantern Corps issue 3 by Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton with art by Fernando Passarin and Auclair Albert. So yeah, Green Lantern Corner of the Universe has got 2 books again, so still getting used to that. Then we have Harley Quinn issue 50. And we got Poison Ivy issue 32.
Let me get down and see these covers.
Catwoman 75 is a thing. And then we got Nightwing issue 125. Is this? No, it's not oversized. Oh, come on. What? 25 of Batman gets oversized, but 125 a Nightwing doesn't get the special treatment? What's with this nonsense?
That seems to be some BS.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a raunchy Nightwing and Batgirl cover, though.
I just got to that one. I was like, okay, this is the vibe we want for 125.
Why not? New Gods issue 5 by Ram V and Evan Cagle and TK. TK? That's what I meant to say.
Tony Khan, what are you doing?
We got GSA issue 6 by Jeff Lemire and Diego Orlortegui. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we got Power Company Recharged issue 1, which we talked about last week. That was announced then. We have Batman and Robin issue 20, which one of those covers has a big monster on it, so I'm curious to see how that goes.
Mine are still loading.
Black Canary Best of the Best issue 6, which is the final issue of that series out in April. We got Batman Dark Patterns issue 5, which has been very good so far. First couple issues in Dan Waters' book. Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween issue 7, which has got Dave Johnson joining Loeb on the art for this one. So
that's cool.
That's cool. Got Batgirl issue 6, which I'm happy to see. I don't see a final issue.
No.
Tag on that. I'm pleased by that. Then we got Titans 22. And we have Birds of Prey issue 20. Sammy Bajri on the art for that issue. We got Power Girl issue 20. We got Zatanna issue 3. I forgot Jamal Campbell was in a Zatanna book. I say this every time, but anything that gets to like issue 3, because it's not come out yet, but we're getting solicits for the 3rd issue, it's in this weird place where I'm still not remembering it exists, but it's already on issue 3 in the solicits. We have The Peacemaker Presents The Vigilante Eagly Double Feature issue 2. Story consultant James Gunn.
No kidding.
Just in case you need to know that. Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over issue 1. This is a new miniseries. They just got a miniseries last year, did they not?
Yeah, that was a Smallville one though. Now the powers are swapped. Now Ice has Fire's power and Fire has Ice's.
I'm not like, by all means go for it. It's just interesting to me that Fire and Ice is not a duo that I would expect to get 2 minis within the span of about 2.5 years. It's just kind of nuts.
I love the solicit. They're like, with the power switch, no solution in sight. Yet there's a book that's all about them finding a solution. It's in the Atom Project. So, this will probably have Gardner show up in it for a little bit.
And hopefully die.
You could hope, not me.
Metamorpho the Element Man issue 5 is out in April. We also have Two-Face issue 4. And then we have DC All In Absolute Universe Free Comic Book Day Special Edition issue 1. And this has got the Dan Slott story and the Jeff Lemire story, which we talked about in the last couple of weeks, coming out for Free Comic Book Day. So, I think typically this is free, both physically and digitally. I think the comic shops do pay a little bit for it, but it's like 20 cents, 25 cents an issue.
I mean, if you want to buy a variant, it's $5. But that's card stock. So, according to the solicits.
That's how they make the money.
Yep.
The variants are a fortune, and we're going to make sure that the variants have really nice covers, so you're super tempted.
Funny.
Yeah, and then some stuff for kids for Free Comic Book Day. Superman's Good Guy Gang 2025 Free Comic Book Day Special Edition, both written and drawn by Rob Justice. Imagine your last name being Justice.
Yeah.
Which is like,
I know a person that's how they spell their last name too.
Justice is here. Justice has arrived.
God, I'd be even more annoying than I am now.
Kanga U 2025 Free Comic Book Day Special Edition. So that's that. And then DC vs. Vampires World War V issue 8. Green Lantern Dark issue 4. Just some minis that, same creative teams obviously as they've had. Resurrection Man Quantum Karma issue 1. So this is a new solicit, but it's not news because we heard about this a little bit ago. But this is Ram V with art by Anand RK and Jackson Butch Geiss. So good.
Yeah, I'm reading this because I don't know.
For the audience, it's
I would say Geiss.
Yeah, it's Guice for the sake of the audience, but
it could be Juice too.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you're right. It could be
Yeah.
a soft G. All right, weird. Anyway, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I remember trying the first issue of the New 52 Resurrection Man, which is the last time he probably had a book. So here we are.
So I'm reading the solicit, and there's a lot of stuff on here that I didn't realize. But it looks like it's gonna Resurrection Man's not just gonna have the power of resurrection. It's Mitch Shelley is woken with a new purpose and power for saving the whole universe. So yeah, also looks like it's playing with some World War II stuff. So yeah, it's Ram V. We're there, right?
Oh yeah, Ram V makes this a must read for sure. So no complaints on that. And then we got DC Cross Sonic the Hedgehog issue 2, written by Ian Fleming and art by Adam Bryce Thomas. So
why not?
Sonic and the Flash have teamed up to try and take on Darkseid. It's like, look, Sonic's pretty fast, right? But he's not the Flash fast.
Look, the Flash says it every time. I'm the fastest man alive. Sonic's not a man. Sonic's a hedgehog. He could be faster. We don't know.
Sonic doesn't typically break like the speed of light, you know.
Wait, have you seen those movies?
I see the first two.
Okay. So I take it he doesn't break the speed of light?
I mean, I don't remember them well enough to tell you if he did or he didn't. They're very forgettable.
Look, I'm just saying that whoever the evil doctor is it Robotnik? Is it,
Robotnik, yes.
Who knows? Yeah. The Jim Carrey character seems like a Darkseid minion. So this checks out.
No, he does not. I mean,
yes, he does.
Not in personality, come on.
No, not personality, but just look at him. He's got a big evil mustache.
Yeah, okay, I could see him like snuggling in bed with Granny Goodness. Yes, I'll give you that. But that's about it. All right, are we on some facsimile editions? Yeah, there's a bunch of those. No one cares. Teen Titans Go.
A lot of original Hush Run facsimile editions.
Yes,
coming out.
Mad Magazine 43. Superman's Good Guy Gang Book issue 1, which is a 72-page hardcover. We have Superman: The Death and Return of Superman Compendium. So there's an omnibus that's been reprinted at least once, but now you can get it in paperback, a 1,300-page softcover. Now, I know you always joke about the omnibuses being too big, but at least those modern omnibuses have sewn bindings, so the backs, like the arch, right? The spine's arch to be readable. This is just going to fold the spine of a paperback. Yeah. It's going to destroy it.
Yeah. So 6 5/8 by 10 3/16. So it's an even bigger size than normal too. So you're getting bigger pages as well.
Are you?
Right? Isn't that? I can't imagine they'd make them smaller.
I mean, the next book's an omnibus, which is deluxe sized, and that's bigger. So if it's bigger than normal, it's like a weird size in between normal and deluxe.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot of room in there to maneuver. So. No, that's probably. I'm gonna have to get my measuring tape out. I don't go back up and look at what the regular issues.
No, because the Secret Origins one down there is the same, 6 5/8 by 10 3/16. So I don't know, but this is also only 224 pages. So that makes sense for something like this.
Superman: The Golden Age Omnibus Volume 1, 2025 edition, meaning this is getting reprinted. I think this is at least the third time this has been printed, because it's had a reprint before. Superman Adventures Compendium 1, which is a almost 900-page softcover. We have Superman Secret Origins reprinting in softcover. That's the Jeff Johns take on the Superman origin story.
With Gary Frank on art.
That's quite right. Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson Omnibus Volume 1. Yep. So you can get, I presume, because his run wasn't that long, so I presume it's Volume 1 of 2. So this will be the first half of his run in Omnibus. Deluxe hardcover size.
It looks like this Superman should be painted on the side of a van.
No, the cover's awesome. The cover's very good. And it's nice to see that DC recognize this as an important run. Because
Yep.
it's not like it was like blowing the world on fire sales wise when it was coming out
Mm-mm.
versus Superman or some of the other books, but it was so good. So
Yeah.
very excited to see this. It collects 1029 to 1046 of action plus an annual and well, 2 annuals even, and then
Yep.
3 issues of Superman and a couple other random one
The
shot
Authority
tie-ins.
special. It also has the Superman and the Authority 1 through 4, which kind of set the groundwork for this.
Well,
So
he didn't write that, did he?
no, because Grant Morrison is listed here as in the written by. So they're throwing all of the Warworld stuff together, which is good because it makes it seem like a bigger story. But yeah.
Yeah. Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, Who Killed Jimmy Olsen, the deluxe edition by Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber. So yeah, I assume that's just their 12-issue book that they did a few years ago. Superman: The Last Days of Lex Luthor hardcover announced. They're ready to go on this. Right after the third issues come out, they're ready to go.
Yeah, it'll be out in June. So,
which is a much shorter gap than it usually is from a final issue to hardcover.
Because it's been about 2.5 years since the first issue, so you know.
Yes. Yeah. Superman Year One by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr.
No, thank you. Next.
Yeah. So there's that. Batman Beyond the White Knight, soft cover. Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons soft cover. Superman Volume 4, Rise of the Superwoman. That's obviously the current Joshua Williams run. Presumably the current arc. Yeah, because the issue we did today, I think it was 22, and this has got 19 to 24, plus the Superwoman specials. So, reasonable size. Batman Detective Comics Volume 1, Mercy of the Father. This is the arc we're on right now for Tom Taylor's Detective.
I didn't realize that was the title. That is a good title.
Yeah, and they've solicited both a softcover and a hardcover. You know, I'm noticing this in general, that, I mean, the fact that I'm saying these arcs are still ongoing when they're soliciting these collections is a big change, because for a long time, we would be like halfway through the next arc before we even get the solicit for like the hardcover, and then the softcover would come much later. The fact that they're doing this so quick and they're doing both versions is very consumer friendly. Like, it's very, you can keep up to date without falling too far behind if you're reading the trades, and like, we're not going to force you to buy the hardcover first if you're someone who prefers the softcover.
I mean, it kind of is what business should be about, which is about choice, right? If you want the hardcover, here you go. If you want the softcover, here you go.
Yeah, but how many people bought the hardcover because it was the only way to read it in collection, but then would buy it again? So, I mean, DC, they want those double dips, baby.
Yeah, but I think the fact that they've gotten more into special edition type stuff, where you can even upcharge that instead of just the hardcover. Because like me, like, I don't particularly like hardcovers, and I would pick them up when they were on sale, like on Free Comic Book Day when my shop's doing a thing. That's the only reason I have hardcovers of things. If I'm going to go buy the trades, I just get, the soft cover. A, because it's cheaper, and B, mostly because it's cheaper. There's no B. Yeah.
I mean, I've not bought physical collections in a long time, but when I did, I liked omnibuses and deluxes in hardcover. I thought they felt very premium. They felt like I was getting a cool thing to put in the shelf, which, in a way that a trade never felt as exciting.
Yeah.
That said, the hardcovers for the regular 6-issue trades always felt a little bit, I don't know, this weird in between. Like, okay, it's a bit more premium because it's hardcover, but it's small. It's not the bigger page size. I don't know. There's like a weird middle ground.
I need a lot of cool extras if that's the case. I want some behind the scenes. I want some sketches. I want some commentary from the writer in the background if it's just a 6-issue hardcover. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think the bigger pages, if you make it a deluxe, I think that's enough. I think the bigger pages, bigger art, Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Give me some of the bang for my buck there.
Wonder Woman Volume 3 Fury. Again, current run, current arc, I should say, of Wonder Woman. We got DC's Finest, Batman Killing Joke, and Other Stories. Because Killing Joke's very short, by the way. I don't know if people know this. It's only about 80 pages. So they love to pump it with other things. And this is a 600-page book, meaning there's a lot of other things in it.
It's like, you could have just called this. You didn't have to lead with the Killing Joke.
I know.
They win with the Killing Joke because they like making Alan Moore mad. And as a person that knows that Alan Moore does black magic, I would not be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically just a collection of both Batman and Detective.
From the late 80s.
Yeah, from the time when Killing Joke was published. But they're kind of like, which is so weird from a naming perspective, because presumably, if they want to do like the next chunk in this format again, they want to do DC's Finest, like the next 600 page worth of Batman and Detective, then like wouldn't it have been better to call it, I mean, they wouldn't call it this, but that's just for, I can't think of another title, so let's call it Batman Post-Crisis Volume 1. Batman Post-Crisis Volume 2, that kind of thing, or whatever title they want to call it. But instead, because they've called this Batman, Killing Joke, and Other Stories, if they do another collection that follows up where this one leaves off, it's like, well, it's Batman. Was there any notable stories in that 600-page batch of those two books that people would recognize? Maybe not.
Yeah.
They may.
I mean, I
know.
could see if they had led with Year One, right? DC's Finest Batman Year One and Other Stories. Like,
which they may have done it, to be fair. That may exist. I've not been paying that much attention to these Finest collections.
No.
DC's Finest, Catwoman, Vengeance and Vindication. So this is from the Chuck Dixon and Alan Grant run. Metamorpho Element Man, DC's Finest. That's interesting.
Goes back, well.
And that's a good 600 pages. So they're not skimping on these.
These are like of that era where I feel that the current book is pulling from. So that's cool that they're throwing these out there.
Yeah, Superman Kryptonite Nevermore, DC's Finest. Again, there are 600 pages. This is Dennis O'Neil, Leo Dorfman, and others writing.
Got that Kurt Swan art. So that's cool.
Yeah, Deceased Compact Edition.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, it's so funny because we've got these new lines where we're still doing omnibuses. We don't get as many deluxes, I feel. Maybe we do. I'm just not noticing. But we got the compendiums now. We've got the compact editions, and we've got the finest editions. So there's like multiple like formats that a lot of the same series are getting released in, which is just curious to see how that shakes up. Static Season 1 DC Compact Comics Edition. Batwoman Elegy DC Compact Edition, because this has had, so Batwoman Elegy definitely had a paperback, it definitely had a deluxe hardcover, and now it's got at least a compact.
Yeah, I
want to say there might have been another one in between this and the last time it was released.
This is the Batwoman story.
Yeah,
right. So and I like these actually, they've started selling these at my local grocery store, which is cool to see. Like, if I don't need any of these, right? I probably have a lot of these. But it's cool that they are out there and they have their own little stand that looks like who's ever pushing these out, whatever company does business with the grocery store, they have them all set up there. They look like they've been gone through, people have bought some. So it's working, right? Because that's kind of what this is to get them into different markets.
It's for the casuals, yeah. It's less for the people who are collecting the books and have been for a long time, and more for new casual readers that might get more interested. Power Girl, with a cover which is literally just here's her tits sticking out at you. Enjoy.
Which the whole point of this run was to get away from that, yet the marketing goes right back to it.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep. Volume 3, that is that current run. Flash Volume 3 as above, again, current run. Nightwing Volume 1 On With The Show, which is the first of the Dan Waters run. Both hardcover and softcover solicited for that. Then we got World's Finest, Volume 6, Impossible, which is, again, both softcover and hardcover. We got Batman Hush Absolute Edition, which... That's a reprinting, because I think I owned Batman Hush Absolute back in the day, and then sold it because I was getting rid of a bunch of stuff, but... so they've definitely done an absolute of this before, but again, makes sense. Or Hush 2 is coming out.
I don't think you're allowed to host a DC Comics podcast unless you own Hush in some form.
Yeah, you
better get on it.
I had the 2 paperbacks because they released it in 2 volumes, the money grubbing bastards, and I had the absolute.
Gotcha.
I recall.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Then we got Cosmic Odyssey, the deluxe edition. Which is a Jim Starlin story with Magnolia as one of the artists listed there. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's I want to say late 80s, early 90s. era, which when Mignola would be doing that stuff. That's where, Gotham by Gaslight first came around.
Yeah, it was also
And
like the late '80s when he started doing Hellboy. So yeah, that would
yeah.
I would expect it to be then at the earliest, just because that's when I think his career kind of got going.
Yeah.
DC versus Vampires World War V Volume 1, current run of that. Deceased Omnibus by Tom Taylor. So yeah, and this is over 1,000 pages, and it does have I think
it's everything.
Yeah, it's got Deceased 1-6, Good Day to Die issue 1, which is the one shot that happened in the middle of that. Deceased Dead Planet, Deceased Hope at World's End, digital chat. So it's got a digital book even. It's got Unkillables 1-3, and then War of the Undead Gods. So yeah, it's the entire thing, just over 1,000 pages in a big hardcover. I mean, honestly, that's a perfect omnibus, like in terms of like just the amount of issues. Yeah. So yeah, I see that doing quite well. Dr. Fate by J.M. DeMatteis. DeMatteis, there you go. Clearly, I've never heard that word said out loud.
No, it's one of those ones that you hear when you read it your own way and you just move on, but then you're forced to say it out loud, and I get you.
DeMatteis.
J.M. DeMatteis.
DeMatteis. I just need to remember Mateus, because if I remember Mateus, I'll just put the D in front of it. But Mateus. Matthias. Anyway, Green Lantern Volume 3, Power of Will, soft cover of the current run. Jenny Sparks, soft cover, the current book. Looney Tunes, Catch That Wascally Wabbit. Okay.
So I thought the guy in the overcoat was Constantine for a hot second. And then I realized it's Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Maelstone Compendium 4, 1,300 page paperback. Man, they've done a bunch. This is the fourth book of that size for Maelstone. That's wild. Batman Detective Comics, the New 52 Omnibus Volume 1. Oh, that's a weird omnibus. Just because, I mean, don't get me wrong. If they're doing like completionist stuff where you do all the Golden Age, all the Silver Age, all the Bronze Age, so on, fair enough. Yeah, it makes sense that at some point you'd have a New 52 one. But like, does anyone feel passionate about like the first 25 issues of New 52 Detective?
Not me.
Especially since, if I recall correctly, that's not even like it was like one team for that first chunk. It kind of switches. And also, this includes Penguin, Pain and Prejudice 1-5, which was the miniseries that ran early in the New 52, which is an interesting inclusion. So that's very strange to me. But I mean, on a list of omnibuses that I would feel the need to have, I think this would be pretty near the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Nightwing, A Night in Bloodhaven Compendium 2. So this is the original Chuck Dixon run, 1,100 pages. So there's that. Absolute Preacher Volume 3, new edition. So that's a reprinting. Red Lanterns, the New 52 Omnibus. Oh, they're really going all out with these New 52 Omnibuses. Again, 1,500 pages of the Red Lanterns and some relevant tie-in issues of Green Lantern for various crossovers. All right, if you really like Red Lantern, there you go. You can have that. Go for it. The Authority, Book 2, hardcover, 500 pages. Mark Miller, Warren Ellis, and Tom Payer. And then there's also the Authority Omnibus, new edition. So that's getting a reprint. That's about just under 1,000 pages. Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, Volume 6. DC Universe by Steve Ditko Omnibus. That's 1,200 or so pages with a lot of stuff in it. We got Batman 89 Echoes, hardcover. The Spectre, the Wrath of the Spectre Omnibus reprint, which is fair enough, I guess. And then that is it. That is the last of the Solicits.
Cool.
That was a pretty beefy collection section, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big. Big chunks.
Yeah, I think there was 1 or 2 months recently where it was very quiet in the collection, so I guess they had a lot to make up for.